Catherine, and welcome to my channel. Today I thought it would be fun to do the Booktube newbie tag because this is my very first YouTube video. So let's get started. So the first question is, why are you starting this channel? The simple answer is that I love to read, and there aren't that many people in my immediate circle of friends and acquaintances who love to read like I do. So I wanted to find and build a community where I could talk about books with some hopefully new friends. The second question is, what are you most excited about? And I think I'm just most excited to talk about the books that I enjoy. Like I said in the last question, there aren't that many people in my life who read like I do. So it would be nice to have people to talk about books with, people who've read the same books as me, and I'm just really looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to learning about filming and editing, because those are things that I don't really have any experience in. So I think it will be really fun to learn as I go with those types of things. Third question is, why do you love reading? I love reading for lots of reasons, but I think the biggest one is that it's an escape for me. I love to escape to other worlds, other time periods, just other people's lives in general. I find it really exciting to see the world through other people's eyes. I love seeing different viewpoints, and I think the best way to accomplish that is to read and to really get into the emotion of what different characters from different backgrounds are feeling. Like I said, I definitely like to read as an escape. It certainly seems counterintuitive with some of the books that I like to read that are kind of sad, but it's still an escape for me, and that's really what I enjoy. So the fourth question is, what book or series got you into reading? This is a really tough question for me, actually, because I've kind of gone up and down with my reading throughout my life in terms of, being really into it and then being not so into it. But I would say the very, very first series that really got me into reading was The Boxcar Children. I remember finding an old copy of the very first Boxcar Children book in my grandma's basement and reading that while I was visiting her, and actually staying in the car in the driveway to finish the book on the way back from a long car ride. So Boxcar Children, definitely one of the first series that really got me into reading. I would also have to say Harry Potter. I have really fond memories of reading Harry Potter with my mom. We used to read the books out loud to each other. I think it was her way of getting me to practice reading out loud, but nevertheless, I really enjoyed it, and Harry Potter was definitely a series that propelled me to reading more. Most recently in my life, I've gotten back into reading probably in the last 4 years or so, and really it was because I needed an escape. I was in the midst of grad school and I just wanted time to read things for fun for myself. And there wasn't really one particular book or series that kind of spurred that on. It was really just having access to an awesome library and being introduced to Booktube and getting excited about reading again. So that kind of leads me to the next question, which is, who are some of your favorite booktubers? So I picked a top 5 in no particular order. The first is definitely Books with Emily Fox. I followed her first on her beauty channel, and then she started her book channel, and that was really what brought me to Booktube in the first place. She focuses on a lot of sci-fi, and not too many booktubers read sci-fi, so I really enjoy her for that. I would also have to say Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts. I find her recommendations and her reviews very, very unique in the Booktube community. I always go to her looking for LGBTQ plus recommendations, feminist recommendations, and just less hyped book recommendations. I think she's absolutely awesome. Next, I would have to say Reagan from Peruse Project. I'm sure many of you are familiar with her. I just think her personality is great. She reads a lot of fantasy. I also enjoy fantasy. Her content's just really awesome to watch. And then I have Books with Brittany, who primarily reads fantasy, but she primarily reads backlist fantasy. I really enjoy that I can watch her videos and find books that I can pick up at the library. I can find on my Kindle. They're not all brand new releases that you have to pay an arm and a leg for. So I really enjoy her backlist fantasy content. As an honorable mention, I would like to talk about Joss from Squibbles Reads. She's no longer active on YouTube, but I would still encourage you to check out all of her old content. She was absolutely awesome. She read a wide variety of books and just had a really great way of describing the books and the characters and got me excited about reading. All right, so the last question in this tag are, what are some of the challenges that you think will be hardest to overcome with this new channel? So I would say 1, getting comfortable in front of the camera. That's something I'm gonna have to get used to. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, I have little to no experience with recording videos, editing videos, so that's definitely gonna be a challenge. So that completes the Booktube newbie tag. I just wanted to add a few things that you might want to know about me. So the first thing, what do I read? I read a lot of literary fiction, historical fiction, and fantasy with a little bit of sci-fi thrown in. I'm definitely a mood reader. I read whatever I feel like in the moment, which often means that I go through phases. Phases where all I want is fantasy, phases where I want anything but that's what I like to do, is just read books that suit my mood. I do prefer, even though it's not always possible, to binge read series. For me, that means usually reading the whole series one after the other, or one book on, one book off, one book on, one book off. I just like doing that so that everything's fresh in my mind and I don't miss any of the little details. Finally, I think you should know that I consider myself a somewhat normal reader. I'm not someone who reads hundreds of books a year. I usually average around 50 or so. My Goodreads goal for 2021 is actually 60 books, so we'll see if I hit that. But I read probably 5 or 6 books a month, and like I said, because I'm a mood reader, sometimes some months I read a lot, some months I read a little. But I think that's what a lot of people do, and that's what works for me. So that completes this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you here again soon. Bye.